What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to talk about things to buy when starting out as a wedding videographer. So first thing to buy are UV filters for your lenses. This will protect your lens glass from scratches, dirt, and getting damaged. If something hits the lens, it's okay because it hit your UV filter and not your real lens. And don't be afraid to use a UV filter. Some people might assume it's going to lower their picture or video quality. That is not true. It's just clear glass. Imagine if you put on a UV filter from day one of getting your lens. That means that glass will always stay original. No scratches, smudges, and imperfections. When you resell it, you can know with confidence that you are selling to someone with a great condition lens. Number 2, SD cards. What SD cards should you get and what speed should you get? Here's a list of all the brands I might consider buying. SanDisk, Sony, Lexar, PNY, Kingston, ProGrades, and Samsung's. You have V30, V60, and V90 when it comes to speed. So which one do you get? Let me show you a diagram chart of what to consider before buying one of these. There's only a few things to consider. Quality, can it handle 4K, and can it handle slow motion in 4K? 430. It can handle 4K, but it cannot handle 4K slow motion. For that reason, even though I started off with all V30 SanDisk cards, I am phasing them out because they are V30. V60. It can handle 4K. Most cameras require a minimum of V60 or higher for slow motion, which means it can handle slow motion. Speed is good enough and prices are very reasonable. V90. It can handle 4K and do slow motion, but the main issue here is the pricing. It's honestly too expensive. Unless you have a bunch of extra money to spend and you're one of those I only buy the best and fastest thing, you can go ahead. But for me, I try to watch the budget but still want good quality. No one is going to know the difference when you deliver their videos if it's a V60 or V90. One of the big positives is V60 can handle what you need and the price is reasonable. Also, in the future, when V90 levels up on their speed, then the previous V90 speed gets migrated to as V60. So V60 will always be up to speed. So since I am phasing out SanDisk, I have mainly been buying Lexar and PNY cards. So far they have been treating me good. V60 and decent pricing. The reason I am not picking SanDisk V60 is because out of all of them, they have some of the slowest read-write speeds and they charge more. And unless they change that up in the near future, I don't care about them anymore. Overall, go with V60 and you will be able to shoot all the 4K slow motion you want without breaking the bank. Next to consider is size. We all know the bigger the better. Since I do shoot Indian weddings and they shoot all day, I prefer at least 256. I think for most people 128 is okay, but I want 256 or 512. At least I know those two cards can hold me up all day. But 128 can be tricky. Many weddings it might not be enough and you might get caught filming an important moment and run out of space. 128 is okay as a starter size, but go at least 256 and you'll be happier in the long run. 512 and you will never have to worry the whole day. Third one is lights. When you're filming the first dance, usually the dance floor is very dark. They dim all the lights and you're gonna end up getting heavily shadowed faces. So make sure you can get some cheap lights just to hold you up until you can afford better lights. You just need something to give you some light to work with. And during the open dance floor stuff, make sure you get one of these lights so you can place on top of your camera. It will look much better when you can see who it is in the highlight video. Fourth thing is tripods. Some YouTubers say buy it nice or buy it twice, and that has been true for me on tripods. I bought two starter cheap tripods, and both of them ended up with something broken on it after using them for a while, and it ended up being pretty janky. So I ended up buying decent quality Manfrottos. If you live in a decent sized city, you can usually always find someone who is selling their decent quality Manfrottos at a reasonable price. So if you bought a $300 Manfrotto for $150, that is still more expensive than a $60 to $80 cheap no name, but at least you know the quality is good. And even if you bought it for $150, you can use it for 3 to 4 years and still resell it for $100, and you got your money's worth. Number 5 is editing. One of the best advice I can give you is get you a Stream Deck. That will speed up your workflow by 30 to 40%. So if something took you 10 hours, then it might only be 6 to 7 hours now. That's a big speed increase. Once I figured out how to streamline it, I no longer want to edit videos unless I'm able to use my Stream Deck. It's just too time consuming to do multi-steps with a mouse and keyboard versus me clicking on one button and it can do 5 steps for you all in one go. Number 6 is bags and cases. This one is tricky because all of us have preferences and are in different phases of our video shooting journeys. My opinions and thoughts when I first looked at bags was, of course, you go looking for bags and YouTubers recommend Peak Design bags. And I watched a few videos, and if I wanted to open the bag, it did not open up fully. It opened up partially on the top and partially on the side of the bag. That seemed like it was more photographer friendly. I prefer bags where you can fully open everything, and that way you can have everything in view so you can get set up and ready. After a while of using a backpack, I moved on to the Nanook hard cases. Originally, I was going to get a Pelican case, but once I found the Nanooks, the original style Pelicans do not look as good as a Nanook, but I do have a Pelican case. If you're going to get a Pelican, get the Air series. Those look better and they are much lighter. With bags and cases, you're going to have to experiment and try out what works best for you. The tough part is that it can get pretty expensive when it comes to trying out different bags. That's why you see these YouTubers with 10 different bags. Let them experiment for you, and hopefully you will find one that fits your needs. I also do recommend looking on Facebook Marketplace and eBay for used or even new bags. Sometimes you can get a $300 bag for only $100. That's a nice discount. And sometimes you can get even cheaper than that. The last thing is number 7, get you some lens wipes. Make it a habit to clean your lenses because it has happened a few times where I shot for someone and there were spots all over the lenses. Needless to say, they never asked me to film for them again. That could have been avoided had I kept them clean regularly. In the photo world, you can edit spots out easily, but that's not the case in the video world. Those are my top 7 buying tips for videographers just starting out. Hopefully that can speed up your learning curve and process while trying to figure things out.